right, welcome back, everybody. Another week, the Coffee Break Podcast. We're here to show you the ropes.
Why are you throwing up gang signs?
I'm giving the same energy he's giving.
Yeah.
I have to support my boy.
He's here. He's here.
Respecting you.
No. I see that. I see the energy.
He's
That's
putting
fine.
smart in your name, if anything.
No. Don't try and break us up, man. We're a team here. Okay?
We're a team.
We're a team here. We got love for each other.
He
all
called
right?
you. He called you a hoe.
No.
Whoa! I have never said that to your face. Gotcha.
That was a good one.
Thank you.
Are we done?
Good.
Do you think?
Good to go? Ready? This clown, man.
Do you, fam?
All right. So this week, we're going to switch it up a little bit. All right. I want to pose you guys some questions, some controversial questions. And I want to know what temperature you guys are. You guys hot? You guys cold? Where you guys at? Lukewarm? That's what I want to know. And today, the theme is going to be family and relationships. All right.
Let's see.
First question. Should parents financially support their adult children? It's an oxymoron right there, adult children. But think about, okay, separate yourselves from this question itself. Think about it more generally speaking. And when I say generally, I mean like, think about it as if the parents in this scenario are financially sound, stable, right? But the child is not, or the adult, or their child adult, whatever you want to consider them right now, is not. Do you think it's their duty as that person's parents to help them financially find their way in life?
No.
Talk about it.
This may be unpopular, but I think at a certain age, I need to stop, shielding my kid from the outside world and let them be an adult. I raised you from 0 to 18, and preferably during that time period, I gave you the skill set you needed in order to be a good adult, right? I know you're in school. Of course, inshallah, what I do want to pay for my kids' education. I don't want them to worry about OSHAP like we worried about it. So for them to have...
Paid that shit off, by the way.
For them to... Did you?
I did.
MashaAllah.
Years ago. Years ago.
I'm still paying that on a monthly basis.
Allah, you're on there. You're on the way.
But my thing is, I'm going to be supporting them financially up until a certain point.
Mm-hmm.
But if they're still getting into the mid-20s, and are still depending on me for certain things, I have to take a step back and say, where did I go wrong? Where did I go wrong with, like, how I could, like, did I do something wrong? Did I give you too much? Did I not give you the tools you needed?
Is there a cutoff age?
To be frank, 25.
25?
25 for what, though?
At 25,
Financially support.
Yeah.
So you kicked them out the house?
I'm not kicking them out. Like, I'm not a piece of shit. I'm not going to kick them out of the house, but I would be disappointed to know that my child doesn't have a plan moving forward for how their life will be structured. By 25, I need you to sit down with me, talk to me, let me know what you want to do, and if there's no plan going on, I feel like as a parent I failed.
Then get it out the mud at that point.
Yeah, I feel like I failed.
Then you kick them out?
No, I'm never kicking my kid out. But
Well,
I'm looking at them like this every day, like, I'm looking at them like failure ass nigga,
They're making sound effects.
Like they have less like talking now. Like you can't, like, if I'm supporting you at a certain age, there's certain things you can't say anymore.
You're putting a word cap on?
100%. Like you're still my kid. You know what I mean? So what I'm saying is, there's still a bedtime. There's still you have to be home by this time. If you're gonna be acting like 25? A kid, I'm gonna give you kid rules.
Yeah.
25?
You know what I mean? 20, you have to come back at a certain time, because if you're under my roof, you follow my roof rules. You know what I mean? But that's another way of saying I would feel like I failed as a parent if my kid doesn't have a plan ready for them for
So
how
you have to restart the parenting process.
Yeah, I have to start from 0 again, because clearly it wasn't working the first time around. You feel me?
Put the formula in the bottle.
Yeah, bro. You gotta cook it up.
How about you?
The only thing I disagree on is the age. I'd push that up.
What age are you thinking?
I'm thinking 22. You need to start putting in rent.
I said 25.
That's
too
3
late.
years.
Huh?
There's a good 3 years.
That's a long 3 years.
Those are crucial 3 years too.
That's a very crucial 3 years.
Okay.
Come on, you're slacking as a parent.
My fault.
24-year-old kid sitting in my house.
Exactly.
Yo,
Following rules, bedtime.
Like they're out of university at that point. What are we doing?
The heck?
They graduate by 23, 24 though.
Exactly. No?
Yeah, I think it's 20. I think it's 22, 23, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's 22, yeah.
Yeah.
18, you're out of high school. 22, you're supposed to be out of
Yeah,
college.
but you're not gonna get a job right after university. You have to give them a time to.
I did.
Okay, you're one
He
of the
did.
you're one of the secular ones. Okay,
The
But
what?
One of the secular ones. Anyway, back to what I was saying.
Was that a word?
Secular? Back to what I was saying. You got to give them time to land on their feet.
Executive.
They got their degree. It might take them 1 or 2 years in order to get back into
Don't you
it.
think that's babying them?
That's why at 25 it's cut off. Like
That's
you
so
have my
long.
full
That's
support
very
until
That's
25.
so long.
Nah, man, that's my kid.
Years?
That's my kid. I love them.
That's not a kid, brother. That's an adult, grown man.
My kid can be 40. That's my kid.
But you're gonna treat him like a kid?
No, at 25, I
You're
have to
treating
treat-
him
I
like
have
a
to treat him
kid.
different.
The whole thing you said is 25. You're giving them the side eye, and you're putting a bedtime.
That's what I'm saying, bro.
Yeah, because if
It-
you're gonna be
It
acting
sounds like
a
you're
child-
dealing with a 16-year-old now.
No, that's the point. If you're gonna be acting 16, I'm
But
gonna
do you
treat
think
you like
that-
you're 16.
But do you think that's beneficial, or like, do you think that's gonna help them?
How
I don't think that's gonna help them.
No. They're done at that point.
So you're giving up.
At
Basically,
25,
you're
I
saying you're
gave
giving up.
Yeah.
Nigga.
At 25, I gave up.
So you put them to 25, then you wash your hands of them.
Yeah, basically.
And then
At that point, you're just my kid that's living in the house.
so you're just gonna be
Go by my-
okay with them being in your house
Yeah.
after that?
Yeah.
No.
Yo, you're not a
I'm
pushover. like that.
I'm not kicking my kid out.
No, it's not about kicking
No,
them
but
out. There has to be steps.
That's kind
to
of
it.
the place where he's going.
You're kicking them out at 22?
No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying
Yeah.
where you're leading to, where you're taking him to at 25 is not leading him out the door in any
just
way.
a dead stop.
You're basically just saying, yo, like, do you, but Blaze is here if you want it.
Now, you need a plan. At 25, you need to sit me down and have me a plan with me.
So why not push that up? And whenever they graduate, let's say they graduate university.
Yeah.
Why not sit
Okay,
with
in
them,
this
come up
scenario,
with a
we're
plan at
assuming that
22?
this kid has done his schooling.
Okay.
Are we assuming that, or I'm just
No,
asking?
I just
let's-
I want one avenue with schooling and one avenue without schooling.
Okay.
I want to see 22. Let's say they should be done, or you want to move it up to 18. And
I mean,
see-
I'm just trying to get a read for where you're going. with
yeah,
this.
I want to see without schooling and with schooling
Fair enough. Okay.
because I didn't complete schooling, and I started working right away, and then I went to school.
All right.
So we have to figure out that plan of if you're not gonna go to school, you have to start working and have to start building the plan from there. Like you have to start. There's government programs that help you get certain jobs,
Mhm.
and then you kind of build up your skill set for the next stop. And this is something I learned from you of getting enough information from a certain job and moving on.
Mhm.
That could be a whole game plan for a kid that didn't go to school.
Mm.
But sitting there and saying, "Hey, like this kid's at 25, this is a dead stop. I'm done with you." That's pretty wild, buddy.
Like,
That is a little
I
wild.
feel like a parent at that point.
But like, you don't feel like you don't see what's wrong in that.
But like, what if what I'm telling you for the past 25 years didn't stick, what is gonna stick at 26?
But
No, I mean, I'm saying like, don't you think that your timeline should be pushed further back a little bit more? Like instead of
Nah.
the 25 cutoff,
I'll give them leeway. I will. 18 to 22, they're in school.
right?
22 to 25, they're looking for financial stability. I'm giving them 3 years to get a good, because they don't have to pay no bills. You have 22 to 25 to get enough bank
Yeah.
in order to financially support yourself, because you can't just leave the house without any like savings. Like you need to have like 6 months to 1 year. If not, personally, I would agree with 1 year to 2 years worth of savings in your bank account. I want my kid to know what they're doing, and that's why I'm giving them this 3-year window to set their life right. At 25, if you're still not looking like things are looking right for you, I don't know. Where did I go wrong?
why not just push that when they leave university, come up with the game plan then? Why come up with the game plan at 25?
Because I would assume my kid has a game plan coming out of university. It's like they have their degree.
Yeah.
Next step is to get a job. Well, do
Okay,
I have
let me
to
ask-
communicate that?
What age would you stop giving them money,
Like as what? Like, can I get
like to
20
pay
bucks
their
type of thing?
bills?
25. I told you.
25.
25.
So you said pay their bills?
Pay their bills.
Yeah.
Like phone and
Everything.
potentially car.
25.
Financially support was the posed question here.
25.
That's what he said to
25?
financially support for the
25.
whole thing.
I think that's
What?
suitable. 25 is enough.
When did you
Nigga,
just
that's a
start your house?
grown man.
Me?
Yeah.
18.
You're gonna hand a 24-year-old man an allowance?
I think it's different if it's your daughter.
Oh, I'm talking
Why,
about.
why are you sticking to
Yeah, I think, bro. Like,
Why are
wait,
you
wait,
thinking about
we're
daughter?
talking about a nigga here,
Oh, we're
bro.
talking about my
Yeah,
son?
like, if it's a woman, bro, it's a complete difference.
I would want him to be financially independent by after university.
This whole time you thought we were talking
So
about a
you
woman?
agree.
No, because I have to treat them differently. Like I don't know. This might be a little controversial, but I do want to cuddle my daughter.
Coddle or cuddle?
I do want to take care of my daughter in a better way. Not in a better way, but how should I word this without being crazy?
No, you coddle daughter longer.
Yeah, like I do want to
your
take
son,
care of my daughter longer than I take care of my son. Because typically, if the way that my daughter wants it, maybe she wants to live with me until she gets married. You know, like
Yeah, I mean,
that's a little different.
Okay, the main focus I'm thinking about here is just financial support.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, 22.
So does that change with your daughter too? 28?
Depending on
29?
25.
30.
Daughter 25. Son 22.
You're gonna be
Son 22, daughter 25.
Okay, so the son turns 22 years old, 22nd birthday. No more allowance.
No more allowance.
How about you?
I don't believe in allowance to begin with.
Well, this is, I mean, not necessarily allowance, but like to pay for their bills, you know, like to cover them financially.
I think we all worked when we were in school, right?
I did.
You did
like
too,
university?
right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I did
This
university.
guy was getting dissed at jobs.
I was. Nobody wanted me to work
He was getting dissed at Pan Am Games.
Nobody wanted me.
But they want you now, right?
They want it now. Talk about it.
Before,
Talk about it, nigga.
before, man, it used to be a tough.
Allah, you're probably thanking the first person that gave you a job. Like, thank you so much.
Access research.
Access research. Holy fuck.
They were accepting anybody, fam.
Allah, you were literally you were kissing their feet at that time. Allah, you were like, thank you, Access.
Facts.
Keep giving me access.
No,
It's so
we gotta blame Access Research for the business demon he is today.
Yeah, no, they set you straight. They set
Come
you
on
straight.
now.
They set you straight.
They did.
That's hilarious, though.
But I would ask them to start getting, like, let's say 19, start working a part-time job, start paying off some, at least phone bill.
Yeah.
Then as they get older, 22, you have to start chipping in for the rent and things like that. After you're done, if they didn't go to university,
Right.
I mean, if they didn't go to university, you have to start chipping in more, at least some portion of whatever it is. If we're paying a mortgage, then you're paying something.
Mm-hmm.
We're not waiting for the end.
I agree.
University.
I'm 100% aligned with what Mukhtar said. To be honest with you, like the moment you get out of high school, you're getting a part-time job. You're going to work. You're going to support yourself to some degree. Obviously, you're not going to be paying for the roof over your head. You can stay with your parents, of course.
Mhm.
But from the age of 19 and on, my son is going to be employed. Gainful employment will be had.
But I want them to focus on their education.
Fuck
You
that.
can
We're doing
focus.
both.
Pardon?
We're doing both.
I used to work nights when I was in university.
I don't like.
Bro, if I can
don't
do
want
it,
them
my
to go
children
through-
can do it.
I feel like every generation, the point is to make the life of our children easier.
Yes, but
feel
we
me?
also have to.
So why do I have to work?
We also have to acknowledge that as time goes on, things change, right? So the same style of living that you grew up with will not be the same style for your child,
Exactly.
right?
To the
So
point
there's
where
going to
now
be
I'm
aspects,
financially stable,
but there's
so
going to
I
be
can
aspects
support
where you're
them.
going to have to compensate for them to become the people you want them to be. You know what I mean?
No, bro.
Like an example of what I'm trying to say is like in the 90s, 80s and shit like that, when there was no social media, people were a little bit more, we had better interpersonal skills, right?
Mm.
But now, since we all live on social media, you can see the climate of, society now. People are a lot different than what they used to be. And parents have to adjust how they raise their kids now because of the added factor of the internet.
Yeah.
So there's going to be things where obviously we would want our kids to not have to go through, but they're going to have to go through. And we're going to have to just be there for them when they fall, simple as that.
Fair enough.
So in that sense, I'm like, you have to get some sort of structure in your life at an early enough age so that you're not falling behind with your peers. So 19, I feel like is the perfect age to get a solid part-time gig. And from there, start your life as an adult.
And I don't think, to this point in life right now, we're 28 years old. I'm still having conversations about what that next, like with the people I trust. We had the conversation. We have conversations on what suitable next steps could be, and what do you guys think about this? And I have that conversation with my siblings too. No one's ever gonna figure it out at all, but you have to start taking steps towards that.
Yeah.
And there's a quote I read once. It said, and I'm paraphrasing because I don't remember the exact same thing. It said, rich people have basically poor kids with the work ethic wise, and the poor people have strong kids work ethic wise.
Mhm.
I think that to a certain extent, that could be true.
Mhm.
You don't want to remove the whole struggle from your kids.
Right.
because you want them to feel that the world's not just this house.
Mm-hmm.
And there's real punishment out there if you're not prepared.
Right.
Okay.
100%.
Okay.
I like it.
Fair.
So we can leave it at that, I feel like. You know,
Yeah.
we got everything we need.
That.
Next question of the day. Is it ever okay to go no contact with a family member over politics?
Depends on the politics.
And it depends on the level of family member. Is it?
Let's say immediate family.
Immediate. No.
Immediate family. Let's say your siblings at the moment.
Let's say your sister said all lives matter.
Oh, that.
How are you gonna navigate that?
Yeah, she's getting the boot. she's
No contact.
Rocks.
No contact.
You gotta go, buddy. I'm not having that. What's that little Milwaukee youth name? I'm not having that one of those around me.
I don't think I agree with you. If
I'm joking.
Oh, okay.
You think I
thought you were serious for a second. I'm like,
Yeah.
but I'll let you finish. What were you gonna?
Nah, I think my siblings are too important to me. My immediate family's too important to me. So we've been through the one thing I think is the constant in life is how you treat your immediate family and how the repercussions that come around to you.
Yeah.
I think that's the biggest. We could call it karma or God's grace or whatever you want. I think the way you treat your immediate family, the way you represent yourself is the way your immediate family represents you as well.
Yeah.
And I think long term, that's going to be the most painful thing if you're missing your family, you're missing any part of your family. Because one day, someone's going to die.
Yeah.
And you don't want to leave that as not as much memories as you could have had. Or not having resolved whatever petty things that you could have resolved. And I think it's not worth it. Long term, it's not worth it.
Okay. For me, family is the most important thing to me. Finances, goal, like these things. At the end of the day, if I have my family, I know I'm fulfilled. You know. Having said that, I will say, when family gets in the way of my moral compass, then I'm gonna have to start looking and seeing, do I really need to keep this connection in my life? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So, to the point where if I seen, like, you know, that age-long question of, is a person a good person if they're good to you but they're bad to a waiter? You know? So I don't think I can keep around people who would be terrible to other people but come back to me like they're fine. You know what I mean? Like, it goes against my entire being, and it would be painful for me to keep that relationship going. And I know family is important, and there's so many times in which I would try to repair it, talk to them, check to see if maybe we can change this aspect of themselves. But at the same time, if that is not changing, and every time I talk to you, I feel as though there is something that I can to get over, respectfully, I will push back and just live my own life. I'm never going to cut off family, but I will keep you at bay because I don't think I can keep you close without damaging my mental health. You know what I mean? Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense. I would like to disagree because I feel like you can't choose your family members, and if they're bad people, they're just bad people. We just have to, I feel like, in my opinion, we have to navigate that relationship with them being a bad person, right? And
what does that mean?
I mean, it's still your brother or your sister or your mother or your father at the end of the day, you know, and that relationship is going to be what it is, right? So if it's going to be a strained relationship, I understand what you're saying by taking a step back and not being like, if my brother was a drug dealer, right? God forbid, I'm not going to go to his trap house and chill with him, play 2K every day, right? That's what I mean by, you know, you're going to obviously distance yourself from the immediate fire that's being caused, but you're still not going to not see that person as your sibling.
Okay.
That's to me, the way my thinking goes is I now have a sibling who is a bad person, you know? And it's horrible for your mental health, like you're saying, right? But it's something that, especially I feel like as men, we need to navigate because we typically are looked at as the support system in families. The men are, right? Whether it's the brothers, the father, grandfather, whatever it is, we're looked at as some kind of structure.
Yeah.
So I feel like in the sense of a family dynamic, it's best for you to acknowledge the flaws, but it's also your responsibility to navigate that relationship, like I was saying, as best as you can, with whatever you find fit in that. If it's in the way that you're describing right now is, distancing yourself, pulling back, and keeping that person at bay, so be it. If it's, a different type of relationship where you have to communicate a different way, so be it, And if it's no contact, that's a decision on its own too. But I feel like navigating that, or not discounting the fact that you have a sibling, or taking away from the fact that you have a sibling, is the main aspect of what I'm trying to say. That person at the end of the day to me is still going to be blood, but I'm going to have to view them or navigate them differently than I would a normal person because of their decision making.
Let me give you an example. Let's say your brother was a good person to you, but he was absolutely terrible to your mom. Like, he made your mom's life difficult. He talks ill of her, and he makes her life difficult. How you navigating that?
I'm gonna fight him.
Okay, fair enough. But that is an immediate reaction. That's an immediate reaction. Though.
Yeah.
So what I'm saying is, what does the long-term plan look like? Because let's say he's not changing. Let's say he's gonna stick with this. He's good to you.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong.
But to
your mom, he's absolutely terrible.
I think he chose the strongest.
There's levels.
Yeah, and I do want to see it.
No,
I want to see this.
I'm not saying that there's never going to be a time like my brother killed my mom. I'm never gonna talk to him again. Obviously.
No, I know.
I'm saying there's levels
that's more manageable.
That's not manageable though.
Okay, but
you can't manage that.
No, but this is probably more likely to happen with families, not your family per se, but more likely to happen with families where there's a child who is not on best terms with the parent, and they are being very disrespectful to that parent. And for a sibling to navigate that, my question to you is, how would you navigate that situation?
What's more important, the relationship you have with your mother or the relationship you have with your brother?
I would, you want me to answer the question? I think I would prioritize my relationship with my parent.
Right.
At that point, yeah.
So in that sense, the safety of your mom is your most important priority, right?
100%.
So that means that relationship with your brother is coming in the way of your relationship with your mom, right?
Sure.
So if that means that you have to cause a conflict with your brother to maintain the safety of your conflict of your brother to maintain the safety of your mother, then so be it. That's why I said I'd crash out. I wouldn't have no problem crashing out.
Mm-hmm. But my thing is, what is the long-term plan?
There is no long-term. It's up to that person at the end of the day.
Off?
It's up to them at the end of the day. If they're not willing to change, then how can we? This is not a family anymore.
So there are instances where
that's what I said.
Okay, cool.
I said that's the case, but that's an extreme. First off,
of course,
right?
Of course.
But in the more immediate sense of like family dynamic or troubles, right? If I get into an issue with a sibling, right, that's not necessarily dependent on another family member, I have to navigate that situation differently than I would if I got into a conflict with my friend, right? Just because we're family, That's what I mean by navigating that relationship differently, right? If me and you got into a fight, we cannot talk for 20 years, my nigga,
Yeah.
But if me and like one of my bros got into a fight, I'm not going to be thinking the same way. I'm going to be thinking somebody I grew up with, this is a completely different dynamic.
We grew up together too, but keep going.
I did not grow up in a Jama house. Relax.
Okay.
I wasn't stealing potatoes,
keep
fam.
Keep going.
I wasn't a stealing potatoes kid, fam. I didn't grow up in Izzy, bro.
Whatever.
He shot at your potatoes.
I'm just saying, brother.
Clearly, I'm not a poor man. I'm asleep that night. That's what he just said to me. I'll talk to you for 20 years. Okay, keep going.
Take it how you want. No, but I'm just saying the family, the relationship with your family siblings is clearly ahead of your relationship with your friends or people that you know like outside, right? So you're gonna have a different way of thinking about that scenario. You're gonna have a different way of navigating that scenario. You're gonna have a different way of approaching that conversation, the first conversation, if need be. So there's just different dynamics, or like with family, there's different topics to tackle when you're having a problem, right? But I don't feel like I don't think it's as easy to cut off a family member as it would be a friend. I think that it does exist. I'm not saying that it doesn't exist, but it has to take something. There needs to be some kind of extreme for you to get there, right?
That's fair. Yeah.
That's kind of my thinking about it.
You have to make family work as much as you can.
Right.
Yeah.
But at the same time too, like I also do humbly believe what my siblings do on their own personal time, whether it's good or bad, is not up to me to be the moral decider of. That's how I feel.
That's where I disagree.
That's where I disagree. Let's get into it.
No.
Let's get into it.
Because we speak about this at length all the time.
Mm-hmm.
But you can't go out being a monster to other people and come back to me like we're cool. Like, there's an element of I don't feel comfortable knowing that somebody views you a certain way, and in a way I'm enabling that. Enable that behavior.
How?
Because I'm making it look like to you that this is something that you can go do out here and come back to an environment, and then I'm not cool with it. I'm not cool with what you're doing. And because I'm not cool with what you're doing, I have to pull out and be like, this is not what I stand for. This is not what my moral compass aligns me to be. Like, to that example, you can't be going out here cheating, right? And come back to me like we're totally fine, because I don't support that behavior. And at the same time, there's another element of it that is like, I need to hold, especially as you as an older brother, and because I'm thinking, what if this is my little brother, right? I need to hold my brothers accountable. They need to know that their actions have repercussions, And if that looks like me pushing myself out of this relationship, I need them to know the severity of what that looks like, because you can't just go out here being a terrible person and come back to X person like nothing happened.
But let me ask you this. Do you think that would work for an adult relationship, sibling relationship?
No, but it doesn't matter if it works or not.
Right.
Because at the end of the day, I'm doing this for my own peace. Because it works for me.
But don't you think
and you need to know the severity of how I see this. Like, if you know that I'm willing to cut you off over something like this, then you know not to bring those talks to me.
But don't you think you're most at peace when you are aligned with your siblings?
But we're not aligned.
Yeah, but you're not allowing there to be any alignment. You're just cutting them
Because
off.
there's no room for alignment in that situation. Where is the alignment? Like, I'm not a monster. I'm proud that I consider myself a decent person.
Can I give you a scenario?
Of course.
I want to know what you're thinking.
Let me know.
And I want you to chime in too. Let's say you have a brother, right? And he has an anger management problem. And then one day he goes outside, gets into a situation, and beats somebody up really badly.
Man or woman?
A man.
Okay.
I think it's always a woman, a man for you.
It's
like,
completely different.
Of course, I'm saying
it's completely different.
Of course, I'm saying it's a man and a man.
Okay.
Right? He goes up and beats somebody significantly.
Yeah.
Badly.
Okay.
How do you deal with that?
What was the reason for it?
He has anger management problems.
But what was the reason? Like, give me.
Let's say he was in the wrong. Let's just add that.
Who's in the wrong?
Your brother.
Mm-hmm.
Let's say your brother wilded out. He crashed out on somebody, beat somebody up very badly. How do you navigate that?
That's a little different.
How?
Because in that situation,
he's a monster to somebody.
No, in that situation, that has to do. It's not an illness. I'm not saying he's sick, but there's something in him that needs support. Like, he clearly is not in the right of mind at certain times, and he needs a good support system to get him out of this. Because anger management is real. There are people who have it who go to the correct services in order to feel better.
It's just a mental illness.
Yeah, I didn't want to put it as that, but I do agree with you. Like, there's aspects of it that he can't control, which raise his anger to outwardly do it to other people.
Mm-hmm.
To that point, I wouldn't cut off somebody for something that they can't control. Like, if he has anger issues and he does things like that, I would, as an older brother or as a sibling, let's say I was younger, I would put him in a situation where he gets the support that he needs. Like, I would align him with a therapist. I'll put him in groups. Like, what he needs? I don't know what, I've never had anger management, but like, that's what you would do.
I mean, that's okay. I get what you're saying.
You know what I mean?
I get what you're saying.
But
you get him the help
if he was in the right of mind, like normal dude, like let's say Mukhtar, let's say if you were randomly to go out one day, which is very out of character for you, and beat somebody to a pulp, I would need to know why that happened. I would like, are you okay? Do you need support? First and foremost, I have to diagnose it, be like, what's wrong? If it's nothing's wrong, you just did it for fun that day, you're sick. You know what I mean? And I don't know if I could keep around somebody who is that violent to other people.
He stepped on my J's.
Fair enough, you see, which I agree with to a certain point.
Come on now.
But like,
I'm trying to find another example aside from cheating, where your sibling could do something morally incorrect that would affect your relationship with them.
To be honest, fighting is not the end of the world for me.
So what is?
But it depends
with your sibling.
It depends on the type of fighting. You know what I mean?
With your sibling, though, I mean, what is like, a decider of morality?
Being disrespectful to people. That's really important.
In what way, though?
Like talking down on people, like gossiping to people, like just bringing this environment.
But these are all ways. These are all reasons for you to cut off your
not
sibling.
cut off. I would have a conversation with them.
Right. I'm saying to the
but
point
if this
where
is like a concurrent thing,
right.
I would pull. I don't need to have that level of negativity in my life. I'm not welcoming. I'm at the stage in my life where I feel comfortable letting things come in and out of my life. And if something is not proving to be positive to me, it's out.
Are you like the word cut off is the strong part? Are you severing
Yeah,
completely?
No.
Or are you putting distance in a
this to you,
relationship?
I say this multiple times. When I say cut off in this situation, I don't mean literally never speak to them again. I'll be cordial with them, but I'm not gonna be your homie.
But you're
I'm
letting
not
it
gonna
be
be-
known that this
There's
is
tension.
relationship
Yeah,
stuff.
we're not the same level of friendship.
But is there
and sibling.
tension?
Yeah, of course.
Okay.
There's tension. Like, I don't need negativity in my life. You know, I already deal with work. You feel me? And that's something I can't control. But I don't need outside of work for there to be negativity that I allowing into my life.
Mhm.
You feel me?
So what would be another example
Cheating is another one, but we don't have to talk
aside
about
from that? Aside from that,
I don't know. Off the top of my head is just cheating and how you treat people. Those are the two ones that stand out to me most. Like if we're going to a restaurant and I have to prep talk you all the time and be like, you can't be rude to the server. You can't be rude to the people around you. That's what type of relationship am I managing at that point?
but that directly affects you.
But to
Cheating
that point,
doesn't.
cheating does affect me
How?
because
Where does that? Affect
I
your
don't
life?
need to leave. For me, that's the environment that I let in. I know I'm letting a cheater into my environment.
That's from a mental perspective, though.
Yeah,
For
but that
I mean, like
affects me, though.
immediately it doesn't, though.
That doesn't immediately it does.
No, I mean, like when you're going to a restaurant. What I'm trying to describe the difference of is when you're going to a restaurant, you have to warn your brother, "Yo, don't wild out at the waitress." It's to save yourself from embarrassment, right? But when you're having an issue with your brother cheating on his girl, where does that affect you directly?
I'm letting that energy in.
Jesus,
I don't need
it's
that.
an emotional alignment.
Yeah.
You can't block that out.
No,
Why not?
because I'm not going. I don't need to block out certain aspects of myself to let somebody be comfortable in my life.
What is mental toughness then?
That's different though. Like
Don't you think don't you think that's an aspect of mental toughness?
I put my guard down when it comes to people important to me. Like if I'm navigating the streets one day, and let's say a bakhti comes and starts making fun of me, or like
This is international.
if let's say a random person comes and starts making beef with me, that is out the window. Like I don't even think about that again.
Right.
I don't care.
Right.
It's a situation that doesn't matter to me because X, Y, and Z. You know.
Mhm.
But there are a set amount of people in my life who I let in, and their word and their actions and everything they are mean something to me, you know?
Fair.
And if these people are up to no good, I feel pain. Like you know the
Why?
like you know that the thing where it's like if you feel pain, I feel pain, and if you do something, I feel that
Sympathy
too.
pains?
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like your actions are directly correlated with how I feel. In the opposite way too. If you feel happiness, I feel happiness. If you feel sadness, I feel sadness, you know?
Mhm.
And to that point, if you're out here doing something that doesn't morally
What
align,
if I feel happiness about cheating on my girl and I'm your brother?
you're sick.
Are you gonna feel that happiness?
No, because that doesn't align with me. You know, that doesn't align with me. So I'm not going to comfortably let that type of energy into my life. Because to your point, my way of dealing with mental toughness is to delete stuff. I delete it.
Is that
No,
healthy?
I don't need that.
Is that
I
healthy?
think that is super healthy because I'm not managing something that is negative in my life because I choose to remove the negativity out of my life. That like
I hear what you're
you know
saying.
what I mean?
I hear what you're
Compared to
saying.
people who are managing their negativity and allowing more and more and more in, at a certain point, you're full of that stuff.
Can
Can I ask you a follow-up question? Sorry to cut you off, fam. I just want to ask a follow-up question. Do you think there's a reality where your sibling could be a bad person?
Well, alhamdulillah, I don't have to deal with it.
Of course.
Yeah.
You live, fam. The
Yeah.
Jamas are a
Yeah,
renowned
so
group. Renowned group.
I can't give you a proper answer because I never had to deal with it. We've always been.
If we're talking hypothetically, though,
Well,
do you think you can have a relationship with a sibling of yours that's a bad person?
depends on what's bad.
Cordial,
What is bad?
like cheated on his wife.
Did he accept it? Like there would need to be like some work that he does. Like if you're continuously cheating on your wife and you see no problem with it, then that's bad.
Where do you insert yourself?
I would talk to him about it. Be like, yo, fam, what's happening here? And if I have a relationship with my sibling, chances are they'd be comfortable telling me that.
Mm-hmm.
Deuces. I'm still your homie. I know I keep advocating.
Yeah, it's
for
like
cutting
that's the
I'm
disconnect here.
advocating for cutting off, but
Mhm.
when in my head, cutting off in my sibling means like going.
I'll see you on
from,
Eid.
Yeah, like going from very to just being like, you know, the cousin you see every now and then. Yeah, they'd be like that. I'm still like we still if you need me, call me. I'm there for you. But the homie aspect of the friendship aspect of it is not there because I don't need that type of energy in my life. You feel me? Like if you need me, I'm down. If you need me, I'm there.
Mhm.
You need a car ride, you need a tow, I know a person. You need a loan,
I just
need a
can't see
person.
it that way, brother. I 100% respect 100% what you're saying.
Yeah.
I respect what you're saying. I just cannot view my life that way
Okay.
because it just doesn't necessarily like it doesn't seep into my mental fortitude at all.
Yeah.
Like it's almost as if, and maybe that's the unhealthy way of thinking about it, but it's almost as if it goes in one ear, comes out the other.
Okay.
As long as it doesn't have any effect on me,
Yeah.
as long as you're okay, I'm okay.
Okay. Right. If
Yeah.
that's how you see it,
That's
That's
just kind of how like by default my brain works. Like maybe it's the incorrect way, and I would love to understand how you're thinking about it more. But by default, I just can't see it that way.
yeah. The last thing I'm gonna say is, I understand family is important, and I will try everything under the sun to make things work between me and my siblings. Like I will try everything, A, B, C, all the way down to the last letter. You know what I mean? However, if nothing works
Mhm.
and they are not, you know, willing to change that aspect of themselves or understand that I feel uncomfortable with that aspect of them, I am comfortable with removing myself from that situation. Because in my head, I understand blood is thicker than water, and I need to be able to sleep at night. And if I have X person in my life, for me, it doesn't go through one ear and out the other. It
Well,
stays.
okay, what do you? Okay, let's rehearse this really quickly,
Go ahead.
very quickly.
Yeah.
I'm your brother. I'm cheating on my wife, and I come to tell you about it. What after that conversation? I tell you, fuck off. I'm not doing anything you're saying.
Mhm.
What happens to you?
Do we have like an extended conversation?
We had an extended conversation.
Have I tried to talk to you multiple
Yes,
times about
yes,
this? Have
several
I
times.
tried everything under the sun?
Yes.
Then I'm respectfully.
I know what you're going to
I'm
do.
gonna let you know.
I know what you're going to do,
Yeah.
but I'm saying after we leave that discussion,
Yeah.
what happens to you? You're having a horrible day. Like
I would be hurt. I would be hurt. Yeah, 100%.
but your mental health is fucked up from here on, right?
Yeah.
Explain that process to me. How does that get there?
Like I lost my brother. I lost the friendship aspect with my brother. That's basically losing the greatest best friend I could ever have.
But it gets to there?
Yeah, it does. Because things are not the I can't continue what we had and just forget because, you know, this happened. Like I need to see you who you are and see how other people view you and be like, I can't have that type of person in my circle. I can't have that type of person around me. I'm hurt, but I feel like personally for me, I can recover from losing a
What hurt you? Me cheating on my wife?
yeah.
Why did that hurt you?
Because I don't condone that.
No, with all due respect, wallahi, I'm
Yeah.
being so respectful.
That's what I'm
I
telling you.
really
don't
just want to
condone
know.
that. I don't condone that.
People are different. He
But what-
emotionally aligns with the people around him. We have to have the
100%.
same moral.
That's what I'm trying to understand.
And you disengage.
That's
So I
what I'm
think
trying to
that's
understand. Like,
different
what
functionality.
keeps you attached to that scenario?
Because the people around me in my head, they represent me. Like a lot of us have the same morals. Even around my friendships, a lot of us have the same morals. A lot of us have the same belief system.
Right.
A lot of us have similar type of understanding as to how the world works. Of course, I'm always welcome to hear other perspectives. I'm not saying
Right.
Having said that, if there is an aspect that is like crucial to me that you are going against, that hurts me. That hurts me. And I need to raise
The aspect of marriage is very highly regarded in your mind.
not just marriage, but anything that has to do with my moral compass, like loyalty.
I mean, I'm just focusing on
Yeah,
marriage
yeah.
because it doesn't necessarily, somebody else's marriage doesn't align with you,
Yeah,
like doesn't necessarily affect you,
Yeah.
per se. But in this scenario, it does, right? I'm just trying to find out where the connection comes from.
it's just my moral compass. I have belief systems that if that person doesn't match with them, I don't need them in my life. Simple as that. That's it.
Okay, we can agree to disagree. Like it.
I appreciate it.
Appreciate it too. Thank you. Thank you for tuning in to another episode of the Coffee Break Podcast. I'm your host with the most. These are my bros.
Yama.
Mukhtar, I don't have all that animation.
And I'm your boy Slim. Tap in on the comments below. We want to hear your feedback. Ask your aunt, ask your uncle, ask your brother, ask your sister. Tell them we need to know their opinion. Tap in below. We'll see y'all next week.